did I just finish my second bobbin off camera because I was overthinking the start of this vlog? I just might. But that means, guys, gals, non-binary pals, that it is now time for plying. Also, important message. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Now, I am not quite sure whether you have noticed, but the color of my yarn plus the colors of my dress equals the flag of Belgium. Well, also Germany. Hallo Nagbaan! And it is a total coincidence, of course, but it is a nice coincidence. Because some of you have suggested that I'd talk about Belgium and Belgian culture in one of my vlogs, and as Friday is our national holiday, I thought, well, there is no time but the present to do so. I also thought, well, what is a Belgium? What is Belgian culture? And I must admit, friends, that you have made me literally Google what is Belgian culture. Because I think that's the thing about living in a culture. You live in it. It is your daily reality. I do not know what is special about it, how it discerns itself from other cultures. I can go with the stereotypical things, like we live on the crossroads of Latin and Germanic Europe. So, as Julius Caesar would say, the Belgians are the bravest of all of Gaul because they live next to the Germans. Hallo Nagbaan! We had great influences in medieval and Renaissance painting. We have 7 governments, but we also have, used to have, maybe I think someone else has it now, but we used to have the world record for most days without a government. So some say that Belgian culture is absurdist culture, also because we have a lot of surrealist painters. According to a very reputable source, which is my brother-in-law, our cuisine, our food is the best in the world, but because we have our fries, our waffles, our Belgian carbonate, our beers, and I must admit that he is correct that Flemish carbonate, I said it incorrectly, Flemish carbonate is one of the best dishes in the world. It is the most comforting dish you will ever eat. You have 3 languages. In Belgium there are 3 official languages. It's Dutch, French and German. Most Flemish people also speak English. And we were instrumental in the development of comic strips. So Tintin, The Smurfs, Largo Winch, those are probably names that you have heard of. And if you haven't, you will have heard of Lucky Luke, probably. Now for Belgian children it's probably more Jommeke, Suske en Wiske, and if you're older then De Rode Ridder and Torgal, which is my personal favorite. Some Belgians you may know is Jean-Claude Van Damme, The Muscles of Brussels, or maybe Stromae, Matthias Schoenaerts, me. Anyway, enough racking of my brain today about Belgian culture, because I'll talk about my country for the rest of this vlog. Now let's continue with this ply. That's not a bad start of plying, I'd say, and up until now the singles are going evenly. That's a first. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Hi friends, Thursday, July 20th, which means only 3 more days until the end of this Tour de Fleece, which is bittersweet, but also I'm going to be candid with you guys. I am tired. I'm physically exhausted from working, spinning, filming, editing, working, spinning, filming, editing, working, spinning, filming, editing. I mean, Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound unhappy or ungrateful, and I know I chose this life, I chose the YouTube channel, but I'm just tired. I've had so much fun doing this, I've had so much fun talking to you guys for now 20 days straight, but damn, I need some sleep! And I think it was rather evident in my futile tries to talk about Belgian culture yesterday. So apologies for that. My brain was not awake. I hope it is a little bit more awake today, however, as someone asked me to talk a little bit about the history of spinning and knitting in Belgium. Now, I am a historian, so this should be my cup of tea. But I didn't really study fashion history or material history. I did, of course, because I am a church nerd, church history. But there are some anecdotes that I think might be of interest to you. Now, any one of you who has ever been to Belgium knows that one of the big tourist traps, both in Bruges and in Brussels, is lace. Now, okay, I'm saying tourist trap, but I don't mean it, of course, because historically, lace was such an important craft in our regions. Like, we were masters at it. Brussels lace was unseen, so fine. And now, of course, the lace only can be as fine as it was when the thread is spun so fine as it was. And now, I cannot, of course, know this for sure, but it is said that the thread spun for Brussels lace was spun in a completely dark room. It had to be kept moist and not dry out, and there was only one ray of light, and that one ray of light was directed on the thread so that the spinner could see what she was doing. But that was the only light source in the room, and this is how they got the thread so fine. Now, Brussels lace was so luxurious, so sought after, that the French and the English actually had an import ban on Brussels lace because the high society people were spending all the country's money on Brussels lace. Flemish cloth was also very sought after. Apparently, Flemish cloth makers made the best cloth in all of Europe, and it was sought as far as markets in Novgorod. In great medieval cities here in Belgium, you can still find what is called in Dutch lakenhallen, which were the places where the cloth was produced. They are superb buildings. I'm going to give you an image of the lakenhallen of Ypres, which is a very known example. And because cloth merchants were so important in like European trade as a whole, I believe it was in Italy that Italian merchants spoke Flemish. They knew how to speak Flemish because the trade with Flanders was so important, especially for all the luxury cloth that, of course, had to be spun, woven, fulled here in Flanders. And we Belgians, we have perfected the art of knitting into spy code. Why, yes, we did. During the First World War, there is a story of a woman, or well, multiple women actually, in the resistance that knitted code into their garments. Mostly those were women who lived near a shipyard or a train yard, and they coded in their garments where the ships, where the shipments, where the trains were going, what the load of the train was, and so the resistance had those messages just from clever knitting. Who would suspect a innocent, quote-unquote, little old lady knitting at her window? Not the Germans. Hallo, Nachbarn! Oh no, no, no! Shit. Oh no, what is happening? Okay, and two more little tidbits of information that live rent-free in my brain and are now going to live rent-free in your brain for the rest of eternity is right now the Ardense Boskop is no longer considered, well, a sheep that gives spin-worthy wool. But actually the Ardense Boskop was introduced to our country by the Romans, and they made their wool tunics from them and they were then considered a very luxurious sheep. Another Belgian sheep with quite an interesting history is the Entre Sambre et Meuse sheep. And that sheep was created by Emperor Napoleon. He crossbred a Belgian sheep. I forgot the name which sheep that was. I will put it over here. And merino. So that is now the Entre Sambre et Meuse sheep, which is a protected breed of sheep. Bred by Napoleon, apparently. That was it for today, my dear friends. We are getting quite a full bobbin again. And this is what is still on the singles bobbins, and miraculously it's still going at the same rate. Maybe I don't have to make a plying bracelet with this one. That would be a first. Now we shall ply the rest of this on Saturday. On Saturday, but it's Thursday. What's wrong with Friday, you might ask? Well, there is nothing wrong with Friday. But we are yet again going to spin on a very special place, but I'm not going to take my wheel to that place. So I will see you tomorrow. And the little tip for where we are going. Hallo Nachbarn! Oh my god, the Germans are going to hate me now. Hi, good morning. I told you I'm tired, but my husband was like, ideal. Now we can pick up our German friend at 7 o'clock in Cologne. Barbaric. Anyway, I told you I wasn't going to take a wheel, but I am going to take a spindle. Let's take this one. Our magic wand. Let's bewitch all of Germany. Or well, Cologne. See you in a bit. Hi friends. Hello. We are in the castle of Dalburg in Germany. I have brought my handy dandy handmade bag, my spindle, and some fluffs. Gotta find my leader yarn, of course, couldn't find that for a moment. It's been a while since I've done some clasp spindles, pinning. It's difficult. Forgot how difficult this is. Also, what you're hearing is not a big wasp, it is our friend from Orca FPV who has drones, and we're filming for the history hikers. And since he is playing around with his drones, I can play around with my spindles. Or well, spindle, singular. And right now it's more struggling than playing, but got all day, so I will get the hang of it again. It's a bit like those wise words from Johnny Cash. Get rhythm. There you go, that was our first fluff. Not the prettiest cop winder though, but we've got a bit of yarn on our spindle. Welcome to Castle Schmidburg, where we shall continue our clasped spindle, in-hand spindle, spin. Now, since you have apparently an interest in everything concerning Belgium, let me tell you what we celebrate today. So today, July 21st, is our national holiday. It is our, well, not really our Independence Day, but sort of our Independence Day, because we celebrate that on July 21st, 1831, our first king was inaugurated, Leopold I. That meant we finally had our own king and we were no longer part of the country, the realm, the empire of the Netherlands. Dag buurman, buurvrouw. And this approximately 15 years after we got rid of the French Empire. Bonjour les voisins. Now, 15 years after Waterloo, there was a play of the opera, The Mute of Portici, and one of the arias in said opera was apparently so patriotic that all the dislike for King Willem of the Netherlands came out, and there was an uprising in Brussels. We declared our independence. And then a year later, on the 21st of July, we got our own king. And so now I got a day off and I get to spend it in Germany. We have our first little skein made with our little spindle. It is very overspun and also very irregular, unruly, thick and thin. That's a practice run for you. And I don't know if you notice, but it's raining, and if anything is ever part of Belgian culture, it is rain. On our national holiday, we lovingly call it the Dracht Nationale. Literally translated, we Flemish people would say that we now got from the rain into the drip. So from a Dracht Nationale we got into a traffic jam. So I kept on spinning on my little spindle, but I couldn't live record because of the noises of the car. So here we are with a voiceover. Anyway, I ended my day with 2 little spindle spun skeins, the second one being much better than the first. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, hello. Penultimate day of Tour de Fleece. No time to lose. My mom is coming in approximately 1.5 hours for our customary hiking date. I want to get this ply finished in 1.5 hours so that tomorrow I can spend my day skeining up, washing all the skeins, and that I have 3 finished skeins. That would be so nice. But of course, my family has also planned a gathering today. That's even more inconsiderate than doing it on the first day is doing it at the end of Tour de Fleece. What were they thinking? So, no time to lose. Let's get plying on this baby. Gonna stop signaling being a heterosexual by taking off the sandals of my socks. Sock only spinning today. So, up until now, it looked like there was going to be a final skein of Tour de Fleece miracle, but nope. I'm still going to have to make a flying bracelet. But on the other hand, look at this massive size of a bobbin. This might just be the largest bobbin, the biggest filled bobbin, the biggest bobbin of the tour. Time trial brought to a satisfactory conclusion. boom, 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 with approximately half an hour to spare. Now that will not be enough to skein this monster on my meaty noddy. Well, this might be a very short bit of the vlog, but then again there is already 20 minutes before it, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to leave you guys here, but not without asking you, can you tell me in the comments a particular story about your own country? Where do you live? Do you have a cool fiber arts related story? Because double the points if it's fiber arts related, of course. And then, of course, like in the last couple of vlogs, you know the drill. Here is what my patrons have been creating the last couple of days. If you see an ad, or as we call it in Dutch, a monkey's tail in front of their name, you can follow them on Instagram. If you want to join in on the fun on Discord, you can become a patron as well. Link shall be in the description. Now, all that rests for me to say for this vlog is if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. Bye!